Hey, Clayton here, and I just got back from New York Search Atlas Summit, and I met someone who's doing something amazing using AI with video to get SEO results and get his clients to rank in the #1 position in ChatGPT. David Golubev runs a boutique SEO consulting firm, and what caught my attention was that not just the results he's getting, it's how he's getting them. While everyone's chasing the same old SEO playbook, David's figured out how to optimize the LLMs to get clients featured in AI overviews and use video content in ways most agencies aren't even thinking about yet. In this conversation, we're going to dive deep on why YouTube now is more important than Instagram for business growth, the exact process for getting picked up by ChatGPT and other AI models in first position, and how to turn a 4-minute video into 100,000 views by chopping it up strategically. The technical SEO basics most businesses are still getting wrong, why your Google Map reviews matter more now than ever with AI overview, and how to use AI tools without looking like you're using AI tools. One of my favorite parts is David shares how his clients are seeing real conversions from being recommended by ChatGPT, and these are high intent buyers who are already paying for premium tools. This isn't theory, this is what's working right now in November 2025. If you're a business owner who knows you need to get serious about AI, SEO, video content, and ranking the new LLM driven search landscape, this one's for you. Let's get into it. Here we go. Yaroslav Golubev you have an agency, and I met you in New York at the Search Atlas Summit, and we are both doing SEO, AI, and you're also in the video space.
Yeah, I do enjoy it, actually. I have a tab open here. I'm doing some video editing, and I think video editing is part of SEO now. A lot of people don't realize YouTube is part of Google, and YouTube is one of the only platforms that goes on TV. So if your stuff's optimized, you have a potential on people's home screens. Instead of the little screen, you actually be on their screen watching in the living room. So you do need to have your content on YouTube. I think it's more important than Instagram. Instagram and Facebook is cool, but if you're trying to get on TV, YouTube is the way to go.
Yeah, that's a good point. And to get picked up on TV, is there something that you could share that people should or shouldn't do to have that happen?
I mean, it's good content. YouTube recommends it automatically. You create a YouTube account. It doesn't have any suggestions until you search for something. It goes blank. So it's having content that's optimized, having the hooks. Right now, you have tons of AI nonsense, like just quick hooks, but it doesn't sell your product. That's the YouTube. You want to sell your product. It needs to be useful. I think to get on people's feeds, it's have some useful information that people will actually digest and use.
The reason I asked you to come on is because you were sharing some really interesting things about the stuff that you're doing that's working. I just got 2 clients picked up by AI in the first position, which is significant. They're already seeing an increase in calls and inquiries from that. So let's talk about what you're focused on, what you're doing, what you're seeing that's working right now in the marketplace.
Yeah, so I left a regular salary job to focus more on local business consulting, more on improving SEO. For a long time, people kept saying SEO blogs are dead. They're not dead. I mean, that's why we were at the Search Atlas conference, because it matters. And I'm focusing on the blogs, but video, a lot of these clients are asking for video editing. So I am doing some minor video editing for my clients, and I know the hooks, and I'm still improving my process. Like right now, I just ran through a ChatGPT process of how I'm doing my video editing, and I adjusted it just this week in order to get a lot more content out on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, on all these platforms. I'm learning and getting videos out there. I know a lot of brands, and I've done shoots where you spend $2,000, $4,000, $5,000, and they'll shoot a good amount of content, and then they'll just get one video out. One thing that I know works for me is my clients sometimes will get a video out that's 2 minutes, and 800 views. And they're like, oh, okay, it's that. I'm like, no, there might be something in there. So I'll chop it up into 2, 3, 4 different cuts. There was a video that client got out was 4 minutes, and I cut it up into 4 different segments, focus on those specific topics. Those videos maybe had 100,000 views combined. So that's something people don't realize is if your content is not tracking, keep messing with maybe the same video. It's not that you got the wrong video idea. And this, everything goes into SEO, like your titles. If you're an e-commerce brand or a service brand, that's not necessarily going to sell you.
It may get eyeballs, but it's not going to get conversion. And then you were saying something earlier about YouTube comments.
So we know we attended Search Atlas, and Reddit is viewed highly on, I believe, Google and Bing because of community. It's supposed to be like non-salesy. But if you go into Gemini and ask it, it'll tell you it is reading the comments. It is reading the interaction. So that's another opportunity. If you have a business and someone commented on a video, describe your product, so much, so and so, give details, because that stuff is being fed into the LLMs. There are tools like vidIQ, for example, is a AI tool that'll look at your channel and give you responses. YouTube right now even rolled out a feature where it's giving you options for a lot more in-depth responses. So use the comment section, Facebook, YouTube, to get your brand out there.
And that applies also to responding to comments, to reviews on your Google Maps, to anything out there at Reddit that's, where they're talking about you or your brand. And if somebody's going to give you a review, I always encourage my clients, I'm like, make sure they give you a contextual review about your product, your service, and what they did for you. So Google picks that up and the LLMs pick that up, right?
Yeah, exactly. You need to, this was a good car wash. Why was it a good car wash? And as business owners, you need to tell them, hey, can you be specific? I went to the massage place. Why was this good? Because now Google rolled out, I don't know if you've seen it, rolled out AI overviews for the Google Maps. So on the Google Maps, you could ask about that business. And it's not 100% accurate yet, but it's going in that direction. And it's pulling the content from the reviews. Yeah. More and more people are going to be using this. And that's where there's opportunity for businesses that don't have a large marketing budget. I worked for Outback for 16 years. And that's one of the things that forced me to go into local business consulting and start my own firm, because they were throwing money out, just Google ads and stuff like that, but they weren't doing the small wins, the customer interactions, the Google My Business, those kind of things. So I'm like, I tried talking to the top and couldn't. I'm like, you know what? I want to do this for myself. There's a lot of businesses that could improve on it.
That need it. And I always tell people, reply to your reviews, reply to your comments. Make sure that you are active in there and that you're showing, because it will pick that up as well. A couple things happening this week in tech and LLMs, AIs, and you and I got brought together because of Search Atlas and SEO. It's really like, if you follow the rules that Google and ChatGPT and OpenAI tell you, then you can get ranked. You can get picked up. Like, what are you seeing now that's working?
It's the blog content. It's getting content out there. I have multiple clients that are coming up in the LLM models and the search results. I have one client right now. He searched for that specific product they manufacture, but not his brand. And they recommended his brand as the number one. And the first thing he goes like, hey, we need to create some social media about this. I'm like, no, we don't.
Yeah.
You're coming up organically. We don't want your competitors knowing you're coming up organically in the content. I mean, and especially last week, Shopify now is available in ChatGPT. So Shopify and Etsy, I believe. So now people could technically check out on ChatGPT without leaving the platform. And if we're talking about like ChatGPT, and Shopify is probably one of those brands that's most user-friendly, easy to integrate across anything. And I've used WordPress, I use Ship4Shop, and there's tons of other platforms. But as a brand, which one is growing and which one is most user-friendly? You can integrate it with TikTok, you can integrate it with Facebook. And those integrations are going to feed into eventually the LLM models. And Manik mentioned at the Search Atlas conference that we went to, that people on ChatGPT are paying customers. They're already paying $20 or $30 to be on there. So they're already more qualified to potentially purchase your product.
Yeah. And when somebody's searching through the ChatGPT or any of the LLMs, as Neil Patel says, they have a higher intent. That's a high intent buyer right there. So if they're finding you on the LLMs, they're in the buying mode. So it's more than just a random search on another app. That's a high intent search right there.
Yeah, and then what you were saying is like I've definitely seen positive results. I'm using the social media, I'm using the blog content, I'm using press releases. There's so many things you need to do.
It's like what other to get your page ranked, your product page or your service page to get it ranked. What other things do you have to do if you, let's say, what I always say is if you were to do it yourself, here's the 5 things I would do. And what that covers part of what you just said.
Press releases, reviews to, get your Google My Business profile, get Trustpilot, make sure your sites are indexed. As many indicators to your business. If you have a physical business or service-based business, you need as many sites pointing to you. So I just launched the one website that was a redesign for a brand. We're already matching the previous website's traffic organically because I did some Cloud Stacks, which is a tool within search outlets to create these little backlinks. I did some press releases, kind of pointing back to the business. People need to know your business is authentic, and especially now with scammers and scam websites, Google, I think, is requiring more and more proof that you're a real business. Every business right now, for me that have a Google My Business, the verification process, if they move, is becoming a pain. Through that video process, you need 3 points in the video. You need the street sign, the employee area signage, and stuff like that.
I have a client who's traveling right now and can't do the verification process because it has to be on their phone and then submitted on their account. So your Google Maps has to be verified, which is a good thing because that does eliminate scammers, but they will put you through if something bizarre is happening on your Google Maps listing, they'll make you run through the hoops.
Google's never going to call you that your business is not verified.
Yeah.
I get one of those calls at least once a day.
Yeah. And so here's what blows my mind about how the rankings are working now, because it's not just about backlinks. It's not just about press releases. It's about being mentioned on different sites. Just by having your name and or your company and your brand mentioned on some authority sites, you get ranked higher as seen more as an authority and is more important than if you don't just have backlinks. Get mentioned as many places as you can on high authority sites.
And related to your audience base, what you're trying to rank for, like, if you're a water sports brand, ranking on a snowboard website might not be ideal unless there's some carryover of like from winter activities to summer activities, something like that. So you want to be specific. And there's so many people, I think, don't understand this ranking side, the backlinks. It's a huge opportunity, but it is also work. Quickly backlink. You want to make sure it's from the right website, it's done correctly, and because your reference from that website, I think it does matter.
And fix your technical SEO first. And that's the first thing we do when we go into an account. We're like, first we're going to clean up all these redirects and pages that don't non-canonical and all that. Like, fix your technical SEO first. Make sure your site is crawlable, readable, like you said. Then start reaching out for backlinks and press releases and get mentions on other sites and authority sites. We'd given up on trying to rank in SEO for the most part. Social media was taken over, 6 months ago? It all changed once the LLMs came into place, started recommending, and people started moving to ChatGPT and Perplexity and Gemini for searches. That changed everything, right?
Yeah, I use ChatGPT regularly. That's my go-to. I use Gemini for more. I do use it for the VO3 for a little bit of graphics, but it's not as great. I haven't used some of the other ones. Perplexity, I haven't really played around too much with it. But the answers and information is all different. But I think it's an opportunity to actually question it. That's something I took away from this New York thing, is actually send a question to it and learn about your business, see what it might be missing.
Search your business on each of the LLMs, ask it about your business, your brands, your reviews, what it thinks about you.
Market analysis, have it do a gap analysis, what information you don't have, what do you see in competitors? And that's what's changed since ChatGPT originally rolled out, where it couldn't access the internet. Now it could, but it also has a lazy function where if it doesn't need to, so you have to tell it, hey, I want you to do some deep research about this. So I think you have to be very specific if you want the best information.
And on content Q&As, right? Ask and answer the questions on your product and service pages. Take the questions that you most commonly get asked from your help desk, your customers, put those right on the product page.
Well, yeah, but I think even go a step above, and this is what I've been doing with my clients, is what questions people are asking. Get those questions, do a short video, get it on YouTube, get it on TikTok, right? With the title, what is so-and-so? How does so-and-so work? What services are in so-and-so? Google is part of YouTube. It ranks high. People like video digestion. And it's interesting, like on YouTube, people will watch videos sometimes without captions because they want to hear it. But if you're on Instagram or TikTok, captions are preferred because people on Instagram just kind of scrolling quickly, kind of death scroll, where YouTube, you do have a little bit of that death scroll, but sometimes people are looking for information and are more willing to listen to the audio. So I would say also adjust your content. You could still do your Q&A, but get your Q&As out there on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, and use SEO-focused titles that are descriptive and engaging. You know, how do you buy a car in South Florida?
And now Meta, the big thing in the last couple of weeks is Meta is saying, okay, just give us 10 or to 30 pieces of creative content and they'll run your ads for you and find the person that's going to most likely convert with you from the top of the funnel to the bottom. So you can also use those same videos, chop those up and use those as part of that campaign.
I would say even going a step further is what a lot of people don't do from what I'm seeing, and there's a lot of YouTube channels that talk about it, is they think they have the perfect ad and they work hours and spend maybe thousands of dollars creating it and publish it. But you didn't get it out there organically. Do people actually want to watch this? You know, are you pushing something that's organically is not that great? I think just pushing a good amount of content, finding your outliers, find the outlier. Okay, maybe that's an ad. And then you have the call to action, and then you can have a different call to action, you know, visiting a website, getting a quote. But don't just create an ad thinking you'll perform. Get it out there organically. You have the best A/B testing out there by just create 10 variations of it, put it organically on YouTube, on TikTok, all these platforms, and see if it performs. If it does, that's your winner. Try to do it as an ad now.
Yeah, that's a good point. And also retargeting. Do you recommend retargeting for all your accounts as well? Like $3 to $5 a day? Do you?
Yeah. Car wash is its own business. You have brand awareness, you know, and car wash, for example, sometimes, you have some awareness, but a lot of times your car's dirty. You just search what's your nearest car wash. So, but you do need to also limit your targeting, I understand, on Facebook, because you don't want, if you have a car wash, right? Facebook will automatically say, reach more audiences that have researched this city. If you're a car wash business, for example, I don't want people that have researched that city. So you have to be aware.
Radius, right?
Yeah. So you want to be aware of some of those AI recommendations because they might not fully understand your business. So you're the only one that understands how the business works. And that's why they hire people that may give you more information. Because the AI, for example, on Google, I'm not a fan of some of the AI automations. And they haven't performed well for me because I have some niche clients.
What's anything else you like share that's working now that's like you're telling everybody what to do or what not to do?
I mean, the biggest thing is looking at the web, do, a website audit, look at what people are searching for, what questions people are asking for, create some video content. So that's what's been working for me. And don't be afraid to schedule it every day. I've had some businesses be like, oh, I don't want to alienate so-and-so, we have followers. If you've reached 10 billion people, whatever the population count is every day, I'll be amazed. But most likely, any video I've done, if it's a decent video, let's say you have 1,000 views, 50% of those 1,000 views are people that have never seen your account. You've just reached 500 people. Think of it that way, is getting more content out. Don't think of like 1,000 views is bad or 500. At what point of the day are you going to talk to 500 people about your brand?
Your content is going to be seen by a lot of people. The question is, the people that see your content, even if only 10% of them are high intent buyers, that's all you need for that. Your content is being delivered to the people that need to see it.
Yeah, one thing that's worked for me too on that end, at least on the content, is if you have followers, let's say on Instagram or TikTok, create a simple message and just message every follower or get it to a VA. How'd you hear about us? Because you want to know about your marketing. You have 10,000 followers on Instagram. Every one of them should have had a message. How'd you hear about us?
Right.
That's your source. You have 10,000 people right there. And I've had multiple clients this week that started doing that. And they're like, oh, I'm actually looking to buy another one. Literally, they just had sales sitting right there in the inbox.
No, that's a good point. And ask for the reviews. Like, that's the other thing. Get a pop card that you can like tap people's phone with, right?
Yep. Well, that's an opportunity too with the followers too, is, hey, I just bought this product. Thank you very much. You're enjoying it with a small family owned business. take a moment, leave us a review, tell us why you love it. That's another opportunity. Don't be afraid to ask about reviews.
Let's talk about tech stack, and let's start with VO3. Have you messed with the, oh no, Sora 2. Have you messed with that yet?
I have.
I created my profile in it yesterday. I think that's an opportunity for founders and businesses to be able to create some content, right? I mean, it's cheap, easy, and it's AI, but
Facebook. Are you talking about video or just the static images?
The video. Like, you can create a video of yourself and then recreate that to create more content to be able to put out there.
Yeah, it's getting better. You have to be cautious. When you start playing around, it may look really cool, but just give it a second and do a couple of iterations, maybe take a week, because you'll start seeing the difference of where, like for me, I could see right away which one's the AI, which one's not. I've seen a couple of social media channels where they switched to Sora for the static images, for just like the graphs and stuff like that. I stopped following them because it was all the same kind of theme. So that's something I would tell people to be aware of is it may look cool. You give it a graph or tell it to create a graph, but is it on brand or does it look very kind of generic where it may alienate some of the people that followed you for your organic content?
And it's not the panacea. It's not, you can't just rely on that alone. Like, you can use that to test your current campaigns and your current creatives, and you're able to produce videos at scale very cheaply. And you can test different hooks and different messages and different offers using that. So if you don't feel good about getting on camera, you can make an avatar on Sora and then have it create some little shorts for you. And that's just another tool that we're starting to play with and use, and we're actually seeing good conversions out of that.
So what I've been using is actually HeyGen for that purpose. I don't like the way HeyGen's going to the video editing side. They don't want to have the timetable where, as a video editor, I enjoy seeing everything kind of stacked up. They want you to be able to say, hey, create a video of so-and-so, jumping a car, and it's supposed to put all the B-roll. But as a video editor, there's some enjoyment to be able to stack multiple elements.
Yeah.
So again, it might be something that other people want to get away from, but I do enjoy actually be able to fine tune the audio and be able to do that fine tuning.
Have more control. We also have Opus. Do you recommend you play with the Opus, like for making shorts and content for Reels?
I have not played for Opus. So for the most part, I use CapCut for most of my video editing. I've used Kling AI, which animates still photos pretty well, but I think now Sora and Gemini are catching up to what Kling was doing 6 months ago. There's just so many tools. It's hard to keep up with everything.
And it's changing and improving all the time. I was at the YouTube conference in Dallas last week, and they are creating some new tools and capabilities with YouTube as well. The YouTube creative director was there.
Oh, nice. Yeah, they just rolled out some new functionality. So now you can do collaborative content on YouTube. That's a new feature that was dropped this week, where you can invite, as you would in Instagram, Facebook, you could invite up to 5 collaborators.
So once we upload this one, I can invite you as a collaborator for make it live, right?
Yeah, I do. Like, my YouTube channel for the most part just A/B testing, so it's not really stuff specific yet. Told Search Atlas I'll get some content out in Q1 of next year, just with the move and everything going on.
No, well, you're number 10 interview for me. So I'm just creating these, putting them out there. I'm not pushing them to anybody yet. I want to naturally, organically seed them to YouTube viewers. So I have an AI channel. That one's blowing up. Like, anything you discuss in AI really blows up. But this channel is more about small to medium business marketing, SEO, ranking, AI, ads, ChatGPT. So anything else you want to tell us about your tech stack?
I mean, I keep it simple for the most part. During COVID, I did 100 boat shows in the marine industry. I did shows from Germany, US, Cancun, Dubai, and I'm talking to all these business owners. And any business, for the most part, has the same headaches. As a business owner, you're overwhelmed with all the technology. There is a problem of where companies are promising, not delivering. So your tech stack should be someone that could actually give you honest feedback. I mean, whether it's a form, go on Reddit, to actually be able to interact in the community. And then also on some of these tools, automation tools, trust but verify. Because for example, I have a brand that's a clothing brand, and they want to see if instead of using models, they could actually throw it in. And there's 5 or 6 companies doing it. And I ran for all 5 companies. Only one was actually doing the process correctly, where it actually looked like a model. So any software you have. So for me, I'm using CapCut. I'm using vidIQ, and I use ChatGPT, I use Gemini, and I use Kling AI. And for the websites, there's Rank Math and other things.
What is Kling AI?
Kling AI it was good. I actually canceled my subscription. Kling AI is if you take a still photo and you want to add some movement.
Anybody who's doing YouTube videos should have vidIQ. Let's just say that. I mean, YouTube's adding some capabilities that vidIQ already has, but YouTube has not caught up to the capabilities of vidIQ. If you're creating YouTube content, you should have that as here's what my title should be that would be, compelling. Here's what my description should be. Here's even thumbnail help, which is not great, but at least you can have some help with that, right?
With the titles, you also have to be, depending on the type of video, like if you're trying to go for the SEO side, you have to combine SEO and a hook because it does give you a score. You use vidIQ on your channel?
I do, all of them.
So it's interesting data. What I think important thing you see on vidIQ is the outliers of similar brands potentially to what you're trying to do. If you have a brand, look at their video, which one's an outlier? Can I recreate this for my brand? So that's the most useful tool, is quickly be able to spot those outliers and try to create a similar type of content.
And one other good thing, if you have a YouTube business channel, make sure that you're not copying, you're not browsing on that channel casually. That's your business channel. Keep all your business content there. It will show you other competitors' videos who are ranking and what they're talking about. So you'll know you need to keep that on your personal channel. Take your business channel, keep your business channel to your business content, and then look at the recommendations for the videos that people are promoting and that YouTube's promoting that are in your niche, and that will tell you what's working, what you should be creating, right?
Think of YouTube as your marketing platform. Sometimes I've seen brands that have a really good product, they're getting some content out, but then they never turn off the ad revenue on their channel and they have the competitors visible. So they've actually went to monetization, but remember, what's your revenue source? Are you there for information, or are you going to leave ad space for your competitors to pop in on your channel? So that's something you have to figure out. Do you want your advertisers or competitors to be on your channel?
We covered a lot of tips and tricks here. Anything else you think we could share that would be helpful?
Keep the video simple. Don't over edit. People like the natural. I've shot with my phone right here. I've shot videos I've had multi-million views just literally using my phone. The one thing I would say for the videos, if you're shooting on videos for content, is have the audio correct. So have a mic, because that's the most important thing. If the video is not great and the audio is not great, it's going to be horrible. Just the audio you want to make sure is correct on the videos.
That's a good point. And Zoom all your client calls. That's an opportunity for you to chop that up into shorts, and you can clip those. And yeah, that's good content there for you there as well.
You have to get your content out, show your processes. I know plenty of US companies that make products made in the United States that barely are getting any content out.
Anybody who has an interesting business, you should have somebody film you, right? Even if it's an office worker, or you can find a guy on Thumbtack for $200 a half a day to come in and just film your office, right? And give you the raw footage. Like, just get something out there, right?
Yeah, you need to have a hook where it tells people what the video is about. So if you show this to someone on the street and you show them the first 10 seconds, actually 3 seconds, what is that person trying to do? What's the video about? If they can't tell you, then you are missing the potential of that video.
When you're publishing a YouTube video, the top 3 things are title, thumbnail, and first 5 seconds, right?
First 5 seconds, what I do normally is I change the name of the video as well. And I do it as an SEO name for that video, and that helps YouTube identify. Same thing for Google, I would say, is any images you upload to Google Maps, as a force of habit, change it to the SEO version of that name.
Make it relevant. Don't say image 1, 2, 3.
And I'm still surprised how many large brands I see that are uploading with image 1, 2, 3, 5, DJI shot 2, 3. Like, it's insane.
They asked me if I'd come in for a meeting to look at their stuff. Well, I did a background on it. I just did an SEO crawl, and it's a mess. It's an absolute mess. They have not done any technical SEO to make it crawlable and easy. All the images were image 1, image 2, image 3.
You need to have descriptors. You need to have the alt tag. All your images should be in WebP format. There should be no excuse for the most part why you have a PNG file. Google does not want to show that content. It's a lot, it takes up a lot of space.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Just simple things, start with the simple things, build from that.
And that's why I tell people, like, I have a client right now and she wants to do marketing, advertising. I'm like, let's get the site structured first. There's not enough backlinks, there's enough content, because what's going to happen if you have a horrible site and you start spending money, people are going to bounce off that. And then that's also going to give Google signals that, hey, that site's not really good organically. So you want to have the technical stuff. You want to have Google Maps linked up. You want to have the address verified, all the basic stuff, to contact us. Everything needs to be easily accessible. If someone visits your site, do they know what you're selling? Pretty images are cool. Was with a photographer recently. He has a big portfolio page of stuff. I'm like, what do you want the person to do on this page? You have 20 photos of models, but what's the goal of this? If I landed on the page, there's not enough content, doesn't tell me a book appointment, doesn't tell me you're the best photographer. And his work is amazing. Like, he's really talented. And when you look in the back end of the site, it was getting 2 visitors organically if you check for Search Atlas, because there's not enough intent. And when people are arriving there, there's not enough conversions.
Yeah. So make your messaging clear, have a call to action, making sure people know exactly what you do and what you offer.
My next thing is really scaling, where getting a VA and scaling my business, scaling some of these automations, because I left my previous job in March, still pretty new. Like, I set up all the systems, but now I need to hand those over to someone else so I could continue working on improving my processes and keep learning.
Yeah, that's a good point. And you're kind of like me. You're boutique in that you take only a certain type of client, right? Like, you're not trying to pick up every type of client.
You're not going to be able to help everyone. And I've said no to some people. So, for example, an acupuncturist, there's an ability to scale. There's somewhat of a demand. But if it's a niche product that's only sold once a year, I don't want to take the money. I don't want the headache. People will throw money because if they love a business, like, for example, that reached out to me, I don't know if it's a good brand, but he was going to make this kind of new brand of teas. But what's the scalability of that? I don't know that industry, but I just don't know your difficulty to enter this market, because you do have a lot of big players. There's enough Slack channels for brands. So for your business, there might be a Slack channel community. Use that to see if your business is viable. Because like you said, you and me are a niche. We're not going to take everyone. And it's not even the price point necessarily. Sometimes it's just there's not a future for this business to scale or grow past a certain point.
We learned that the hard way we scaled a couple of companies that couldn't handle it. They engaged us. They thought they could handle the volume, and they couldn't. One of them in the insurance sector. Insurance is really kind of weird right now. You can't just easily scale an insurance business. You have to have underwriters on board. You have to have a licensed professional to touch every single policy. So that was one of them that we found. Is like, if you turn it on too fast in insurance, that they can't handle it.
But if you go on Zillow.com and you request a quote, you're going to have an agent call you within minutes, because they have the system where if they're in the system, and if one doesn't answer, it goes to the next one. And I've had clients where they'll get the leads and then they don't follow up till a week later, and you need to follow up as soon as you get that. Call them. Hey, thank you for it needs to be instant, because they're shopping around.
That's a good point. The campaigns that we run, and we grab the email and phone number, as soon as that comes across, they get a call. Most of the time they won't answer, but it doesn't matter. Leave a voicemail and then send a follow-up text, and then put them in your email campaigns, right?
Yep. Because if they filled out the form, especially with Meta, it says, they open up conversation. So there potentially would be 3 touch points, where it'll be an email, it'll be a phone number, it'll be the messenger. Reach all 3 as soon as possible, because that customer is shopping.
Yeah. If it's a high ticket offer, then it's going to take them 21 days before they even get you on the phone or respond back to you. Where they were just looking and sniffing around. They've been thinking about doing something for a while. They know they need your product or service. But if you're a high ticket service or offer, then it's going to be 21 days. That's what I just said. Tell people. It'll be a while before they get back to you. They expressed interest, but not right this minute. Awesome, man. Well, we covered a lot of territory. I think we could do version 2 of this in a couple of weeks after you get moved.
I have a trip to Europe to take some pictures for a client, because sometimes it's easier for me to come out there, because I ask people to take pictures sometimes or videos, and it's not what I'm looking for. So it's easier for me to come out to the location and do the content. Instagram is private, but I end up trying to advise people how to do it.
All right, man. Well, David, appreciate you coming on, and it's nice meeting you in New York. And Good luck with the move. Let's do version 2 of this after you get settled. I'm sure there'll be a bunch of new tech here in about 4 weeks, and we can talk about.
I'm excited to hear about your automations and how you're helping out businesses, because I think that's the most important thing right now is you get new people. How do you scale up with AI with less people, right? Twitter scaled with what originally was 4 people and became, crazy amount of money.
Yeah.
You need real people too, but how do you scale? You have the website chats, right? Website chats resolve a problem, and some of these website chats now have a data set where they're pretty in depth. Like I use a website management Hostinger. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. Its AI is super useful. Everything I could do a screen grab. Like it's insane what I've learned from the AI and how helpful it's been.
In my AI consulting business, I have a call this afternoon, and one of my clients, what we're doing with ChatGPT is we're building out their whole operations in ChatGPT, and we've trained ChatGPT on the system prompt, which is the foundational layer. Here's my company, here's what we offer, here's the tone of our professional tone of our organization, and the 2-pager, we call it system prompt.
Yeah.
And so now we're creating all the operational master prompts for marketing, ops, finance. And once you do that, and then you're plugging your marketing into that marketing prompt, your ChatGPT OS, like you said, you can start asking it questions like it's your best advisor, right?
It's your personal assistant. I mean, the voices on it are so real. One advice I would tell businesses, if you're not using some form of AI and you don't start using it, you're not going to be in business much longer. Because as a competitor, I can go into your market share so easily using AI, using content, automations, and just dominate the searches where you won't exist. And I saw this during COVID. I was in the Broward College communities. They had a program that was for entrepreneurs, and I went through the program. And I tried to interview businesses that were closed because of COVID, and I was trying to give them advice. All these businesses are closed now because they're like, no, we're good. I'm like, people are searching online. COVID changed that, where people now went more online because Google had this studies about how many people research something online before going to a physical location, whether it's a restaurant service. Now we've been trained to do that. So use AI. That's the number one tool. Get familiar with it in so many areas, whether you're in food, your food cost estimates. I mean, Shopify has your inventory management. If you're not using AI, you might be out of business in 5 years.
And it goes down to training the AI about you and your business and your goals and objectives. So as a multi-million-dollar business owner, open ChatGPT and just use it out of the box. If you want real good results, you need to train the model and tell Chat. You can even ask ChatGPT, interview me about my business, my objectives, my goals, my dreams, my wishes, my challenges. Then why is Q1 more profitable than Q2? Like you can ask the LLM.
That's gold. You're doing something I think most people aren't. So I was talking about ChatGPT last week, and ChatGPT will respond depending on how you interact with it. So my ChatGPT, I'm interacting with it as I would with a personal assistant. And when it provides results that are not that great, I tell it, hey, you did not provide the responses I'm looking for. This is what you did wrong. I want you to do better. And in the Human Podcast, they mentioned that it's responding how you interact with it. So if you're just doing Q&A, quick questions, and not actually challenging it to think, it's going to give you those quick answers.
You need to tell ChatGPT, create my system prompt, open Canvas, create my system prompt, ask me 5 starter questions. If you start with that, it creates your system prompt, and you'll see it on the right-hand side creating it for you. What it knows about you is more important about how it gives you the relevant results. And then take that and put it in a project, and then start creating your marketing project under that, and then your operational project under that for customer service, then your financial project under that. That way, when you build the foundation of it, and we're helping, like, it's a lot of these business owners, they're like, oh, I know I need to be using it. Only 4% of the room, these are successful business owners, only 4% of the room raise their hand that they're using it every day. So that being said, it's not too late to start. Not everybody's using it, but you got to pick it up pretty quick. You got to get going, right?
Yeah, it's the most important tip I'll tell any business owner. Once they realize the potential, it helps respond. We talked about reviews. Some negative reviews, like someone really talked really negative about your business, you can't take it down. That AI agent is going to do a much better job of responding to this aggressive person than I would ever in my life.
Absolutely.
And that's the unique features of AI. It's not biased unless you train it to be biased, but it's going to give you a better response.
Yeah, and a friendly, warm tone is much better, more professional, and it covers all the bases, especially like on a bad review. It will cover all the bases of, hey, sorry, bad experience, here's what, and here's how we're trying to do better for future. But don't be like that person, have AI respond to 150 reviews at the same time because you got a new app, and then it's going to shut down your Google Maps business ranking. So somebody that hadn't responded to your reviews in a year, they turn on Search Atlas. They're like, oh, cool. Search Atlas says, hey, I see all these reviews you have not responded to. Do you want me to do it now? And she clicked yes, and it responded to all 150. And Google shut down her Google Maps listing saying, that was not human interaction. You're banned.
It's the same thing with Facebook. If you respond too much, you'll kind of pause your responses. And
you got to act like a human. And you don't do 150 responses at one time. Schedule it out and then touch it. Like AI is not the panacea. You have to touch it and give it a little human language and, a little bit of human quality in the responses. It is 98% great, but it still needs a human touch.
It's easy for me to see on social media where the descriptions are fully AI. And if you start looking for those, that might turn people away. Same thing with images. You have to be very careful with AI, but as a tool to brainstorm, to throw ideas at it. You could throw pictures into Sora, different pictures of campaigns. Hey, create a campaign for me. This is what I'm trying to do. As a creative agent, AI is amazing. Coding, HTML.
Oh, it's amazing. I'll talk more on the next episode, but what you can do with Claude Code now and make N8N and just some simple automations. You can make apps talk to each other and trigger each other to do actions like never before. And it's like unbelievable. It's almost like custom.
We're in an industrial revolution. A lot of people are scared of AI, but it's for the better. I've learned so much more, be able to leverage it and ask questions and get responses and improve my processes. When Ford was built, Henry Ford, he didn't need to know how to build every part of the car. He hired people that knew what they were doing. He had a vision, right? So it's the same way. As a visionary, you have access to talented agents now if you train them. And if you're a visionary, now you have access to employees you may have never had access in your life. So to create new products, brands, services, it's now at your hands at $20 a month. That's insane.
It's absolutely a game changer, and you can take advantage of it and use it to your advantage. And you have the best, smartest MBA assistant at your fingertips for $20 a month.
I mean, that could be a prompt right there.
Cool, man. All right.
This was nice. And we could keep talking about it, but to me, it's exciting because as an entrepreneur myself, seeing small businesses that are suffering for stupid stuff. I hate to say it, GoDaddy, I would never recommend anyone to build outside of GoDaddy or themes.
No, I feel bad for those. And when you explain to them, we got to upgrade you. You got to be on WordPress. You got to be on something real that goes.
You can have your proper headings. You have some control of your URL. And GoDaddy, the advantage for you and me is GoDaddy has this huge marketing campaign with their AI tool now. I'm going to have more clients because everyone thinks that site is pretty and it's functional. And you look in the back end and it has 2 visitors a month because there's no H1 headings and nothing's done right.
And same when you're using Lovable and people are thinking, oh, I've just created this website in Lovable. Well, that's great. It's not necessarily crawlable or going to get picked up by Google or the LLM. It was easy and you could prompt it and create it in a second, but it's not technically advisable if you want to be crawled and picked up by SEO, by the search engines or LLMs.
Yeah, it's, again, we're talking about tools, SEO, is just question it. Talk to someone that actually has traffic and is aware of what proper sites should have. Be very careful hiring third parties. Upwork and all these places, they have really talented people, but sometimes a graphic designer is not the same as an SEO person. They'll create you a great functioning websites, and I've seen dozens of those that have zero traffic because it wasn't added to Search Console, it wasn't added to a Bing dashboard, it doesn't have the right imagery behind it.
Yeah. Any tool or site that you recommend people go to do analysis of their site to see how the Google sees them?
Well, I mean, if we're talking about paid, it'll be Search Atlas. If you have a subscription or you do a trial. I've used a website called SpyFU. I don't know if you've used that site before.
Oh, yeah. BIFO is I've used that for Google ads. See what your competitors are running.
And that's something to tell business owners, Google ads and meta ads, they're all part of public knowledge. So you could go to a Google ads library and see what your competitors are running. Yeah. Same thing with meta. But yeah, SpyFU is probably the easiest one, simplest one.
So I have the agency version of Search Atlas. So I have SEO-analysis.leadly.com, and then you can plug your web domain there, and then I'll do a whole crawl on you and show you how Google sees you.
No, I do not. Right now, we need to eventually talk is the scalability where I need to hire an assistant, some of the stuff, because AI blogs, even within Search Atlas, you need to review them and you need a physical person to double check it. Because when I create blogs, I don't want them just for ranking. I actually want someone reading it that actually is able to enjoy it.
And that adds value, and it's not obviously AI created.
And Search Atlas is probably one of the best platforms I've seen on the content, but it's not perfect yet. And I think as it keeps evolving, you always need that human person to double check, but it is pretty good.
It just needs a little human touch, like every other LLM output.
And that's where you get the virtual assistant to help you out. So as a business owner, you can continue scaling and thinking about these higher functions.
No, for sure. Good point.
All right, this was good. Awesome. This was fun.
Dude, I think we covered every possible base. All right, David, how do people get in touch with you? What do we need to know?
Best way, so I do have a website. It's local-business-consulting.com. That would be the easiest way to reach out to me, submit a form, or my phone number's on there as well.
Okay, local-business-consulting.com.
Yep.
Cool. And all right, you're moving to Florida on your way to North Carolina. We'll do this again, version 2, in the next month or so.
Yep.
I love it. Cool, man.
All right. You got it.
All right. Cheers.
Bye.